Knowing why has always been very important to me. And I have to tell you a story here. I was 17 years old when I was an apprentice on board a big tanker that went from Sweden then and up to Karg Island in the Persian Gulf. And that was a trip that took 6 weeks, and you work 4 hours off 8, 4, 8, 4, 8, 4, 8. It's very, very exhausting. Then we came to Palermo in Sicily to do some work on the hull of the ship. And I thought, well, of course, I'm going to go ashore now and have a break and do things what sailors do in ship ashore, right? But anyway, they said, no, Christer, you go down in that engine room. You open up all the big crankcases. You know, these engines are about 30 feet tall. So they are giant pieces of equipment. And then you take a hammer with you and that special leather and hook that leather up to the crosshead. And then you give every bolt and nut you see a blow with a hammer. And I have no idea at that time, why am I doing this? And if you're 17 years old, you don't go and ask. Well, I bet that all of you do not know why I did it. Some of you do, of course, because it's a very important PM task. Then, okay, I did it in short time just to get it done. And then on board another ship about 3 months later, same procedure, go down there, knock bolts. Then I learned why I did it. Because it's quiet in the engine room when you're in the port. But then when I then knocked one bolt, it sounded all the same, always the same, and one of them was dead. What I was doing was to ring bolts, right? It was a very important PM procedure to find if you had any loose bolts in the engine room, in the crankcases, because that could cause a crankcase explosion, and that has happened on board many ships, in fact. Knowing why, and that is why I called my next book that I just wrote, Knocking Bolts. And it's based very much on know why training. We can't tell people only, do this. Here is the PM procedures, do this, do this. You have to explain why they are doing it.